from the KWQC Broadcast Center, this is TV6 News at 10.
I think they just want to know they're getting somewhere. They're starting early and they're really going for it now.
Getting a head start on higher education. High school students from across the QCA making the most of college night.
Another major piece of the healthcare reform law takes effect next week. Tonight, TV6 investigates what it means for you. But a developing story tops your first 6 minutes tonight. Good evening. I'm Gary Mativier.
And I'm Sharon DeRick. We have new details about a shooting in Rock Island we first brought to you as breaking news at 5 and 6. It happened just before 4:30 in the 1400 block of 7th Street. And as police are investigating exactly what happened, neighbors are speaking out to Elizabeth Goodsit about what they saw and what they heard.
Yellow crime scene tape, evidence markers on the ground, police going door to door. Not what anyone wants to see in their neighborhood at any time of day, but residents here say,
for somebody to be bold enough to shoot somebody in broad daylight, that's a fear. That's a fear.
A fear so strong this neighbor won't let us show you her face or tell you her name, but she says she heard it all.
I just heard gunshots. I heard gunshots, and looking out the door, I saw the smoke. I guess the shells or whatever were dropping from the gun. I actually saw that.
And she saw a longtime neighbor on the ground in a nearby alley. She knew she had to help.
So I ran and got gloves, because I'm in the medical field. I ran and got gloves and a towel to go over there to put under his head or stop the bleeding or do whatever I could do, CPR, whatever. But all he said was, I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs. So I stayed right there with him on the ground with the towel under his head and kind of just had my hand on his chest.
Staying there until first responders took that man to a local hospital, now wondering what she'll do next.
I'm still worried. I'm still worried. That's the truth.
Worried for herself and her grandchildren.
Like I said, if they weren't at football practice, they would have been out here playing. And that's scary. That's real scary.
A word she tells us she never would have used before when talking about this community and her home.
We're caught between a rock and a hard place. Do you pack up like the Beverly Hillbillies and move? Do you watch your back everywhere you go?
She says she hopes others have been watching and will talk to police, helping them get the person responsible for this off the streets. In Rock Island, Elizabeth Goodsit, KWQC TV6 News.
Officers are not releasing the victim's name or condition at this hour. They ask anyone with any information to call the Rock Island Police Department.
Now to another developing story, one we have been following for months now. Yesterday, we told you the city of Dixon received $40 million of the $56 million stolen by former comptroller Rita Crudwell over the course of nearly 2 decades. Attorneys for the city of Dixon say auditors missed major red flags they should have caught.
They had a duty and a responsibility to investigate, to report to the city of Dixon, to find out what was going on, and they didn't do it. They let down the city of Dixon.
Lawyers for Dixon say the auditors from Clifton Larson and Fifth Third Bank did not do enough to expose Rita Crudwell's scheme. The former treasurer pleaded guilty to stealing $54 million from the city to live a lavish lifestyle and run a horse breeding business. For 20 years, she created false accounts and invoices and pocketed the money. The documents had mistakes that were red flags the auditors should have caught, according to the attorneys.
You see that in every one of Rita's invoices, there's a misspelling. Section is spelled S-E-C-T-O-N as opposed to S-E-C-T-I-O-N appropriately. You don't have misspellings in form bills.
Under normal circumstances, attorneys say, auditors would have investigated the accounts, sometimes worth hundreds of thousands of dollars each. That wasn't done in Dixon.
No time did anyone from Clifton year after year ever call about any of the 179 false invoices.
Not only did Clifton audit Dixon's accounts, but they also managed Crudwell's personal income taxes, not once reporting problems. Lawyers call their actions grossly negligent.
Clifton was even discussing, where does she get the money? Where does she get the money? And in the accounting world, that's a huge red flag.
Dixon's mayor tells us there will be a public meeting next week to talk about the city's finances, and because of this, residents are also looking at potentially changing the way the city is governed, possibly switching to a city manager form of government.
Well, taking a look at what's happening right now, we've got clear skies, 63 degrees, and east winds moving at 8 miles per hour after a sunny day. Temperatures now starting to cool down, 63 in Clinton, 70 degrees in Burlington, 55 in Sterling, 65 degrees in Savannah. Clear skies all across the region as a broad ridge of high pressure continues overhead, and that means we'll continue to see lots of sunshine for tomorrow. Temperatures warming into the 80s and highs expected to stay that way as we head into the weekend.
Commuters heading home on Brady Street tonight found their trip took a little longer than usual. A semi got stuck after hitting a light pole near 15th Street, blocking all 4 lanes of Brady. Traffic was backed up the hill and cars had to be rerouted. No injuries were reported.
Expanding area rail systems. BNSF announced it will invest $145 million in improving and expanding Illinois rail capacity, including work on 3 departure tracks at the Galesburg Yard and construction of new siding between Barstow and Hillsdale. Governor Quinn says he'll fight to make sure Illinois lawmakers don't see their paychecks until they agree on a fix for the state's pension crisis. This after a Cook County judge ruled pay must be reinstated, ruling Quinn's action unconstitutional. The governor filed an appeal today. A judge could take it up as early as tomorrow.
It's been more than a year in the making, but a master plan has now been finalized for the village of East Davenport. The vision for the village encompasses part of the riverfront, the East Village storefronts, and some historic residential areas. This is not a plan for one specific project, but it's a set of guidelines that can be referred to for future development. From now on, any changes or renovations made to East Village infrastructure have to correspond with the master plan.
How to maintain what's historically important, as well as look at, how do we build on the future.
City officials say there is already interest from a number of developers. Now that the master plan is finalized, those developers have a better idea of guidelines to adhere to.
A moving presentation today encouraging women to take control of their health.
Everyone is faced with trials at one time or another in their life, so I would just like to help give hope that you can overcome them and you can go on to be happy again.
Words of strength from a survivor. Today, Elizabeth Smart spoke at Galesburg's Cottage Hospital, their Healthy Woman program. It's an initiative dedicated to improving the emotional and physical well-being of women and their families. Smart was abducted in 2002 and held prisoner for 9 months. She says she hopes her recovery will inspire those living with abuse and other challenges.
It is a stressful process, but a lot more than just high school seniors are now taking steps to prepare for college. Tonight, Blackhawk College held its annual College Night. KWQC's Bailey Dietz was there. And Bailey, a really big turnout of students exploring the options.
Yeah, Gary, take a look at the lines filing in the jam-packed gymnasium at Blackhawk College. Representatives from nearly 100 colleges out of 9 different states there to answer students' questions about things like admissions requirements, tuition costs, and transfer options. It's described as almost like speed dating with prospective universities, and we found out students are tending to get the ball rolling earlier, starting sometimes freshman year or earlier, and that's one trend college reps are seeing that wasn't the case 10 years ago. Also, that more high schoolers are attending dual enrollment at community colleges and continuing the community college option after graduation because those schools are offering a lot more than they used to.
I think a lot of it has to do with financially and also because of the transfer agreements that are set up between the 4 universities and the community colleges.
And we try to find out what they're interested in because that's obviously going to be the most important thing for them. Not every school is going to be the best fit for them.
And a lot of it is about trying to get the most out of your money. College reps say they're also growing trends are for certain career paths like healthcare, business, and engineering. Very popular, Gary.
Yeah, Bailey, thank you. If you are unable to attend the college night, you can contact Blackhawk College to get in touch with any of the colleges that attended. The information is linked to the story now on our website at kwqc.com.
Iran cannot be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon.
Ongoing talks about addressing nuclear disarmament, and Iran's leaders say they are ready to be part of the conversation.
And KWQC's Mark Stevens brings you a straightforward look at healthcare reform, what you need to know come October 1st.
And get ready for another warm summer-like day ahead to end the work week with rain chances following right behind. Your first alert forecast is coming up.
You're watching Gary Mativier and Sharon DeReek. This is KWQC TV6 News at 10. And now, the Quad City's most reliable forecast with Teresa Bryant.
A warm, sunny day across the region with temperatures ranging from 78 degrees in Dubuque to 86 in Macomb, 85 in Iowa City, 82 degrees in Kewaunee and Sterling. Now we're at 65 degrees in Dubuque, 63 in Clinton, 66 in Kewaunee, 68 degrees in Iowa City, and 70 in the Burlington area. Clear skies just about everywhere you look, and this is all due to a broad ridge of high pressure which extends from the Central Plains states back through the mid-Mississippi Valley into the Great Lakes region, and that means we'll continue to see clear sky conditions through the overnight hours as we head into Friday, and then more sunshine during the course of the day. Along with that, warm southerly winds helping to boost temperatures well into the 80s. That's above normal for this time of year. But by Friday evening, we start to see a few scattered clouds approaching from the west, and as the frontal system moves through, we see a chance for showers moving through, also maybe even a thunderstorm or two, but for the most part that rain is going to be short-lived, coming to an end by Saturday evening. Temperatures for tonight dropping down to around 56 degrees under clear skies. Sunshine for tomorrow, 85 in Sterling, 84 in Maquoketa. We'll see a temperature of 86 degrees in Washington, 87 in Macomb, and the Quad Cities expecting high temperatures near 85 degrees. Again, mostly sunny skies, a little bit on the breezy side too, as winds out of the southeast increase to around 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now your 7-day outlook. That front passing through, bringing the showers by Saturday afternoon, expected to move through quickly. As it does so, it will usher in some much cooler air, so that means we'll be seeing temperatures in the 70s over the next several days. Some sunshine for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Readings in the 70s, lows in the 50s, and temperatures returning to the 80-degree mark by Wednesday and Thursday, with our next chance for rain by Thursday morning.
Banning nuclear weapons. At the UN today, Iran's new president called on Israel to sign off on an international treaty that would do just that. Iran has faced severe economic sanctions for years due to concerns of the country's suspected stockpile of enriched uranium, a substance Iran's leaders say is used for reactor fuel and medical purposes. But some world powers worry it could be used to create a nuclear warhead. Iran's foreign minister met with Secretary of State John Kerry today to discuss the issue.
We're not expecting any breakthrough in this initial meeting, but I think that, this is part of us testing the seriousness of the Iranians.
Rouhani has said he is willing to engage in talks to resolve questions about Iran's nuclear program.
In Washington tonight, a deal could be in the works to avert a partial government shutdown, but it could just delay an even bigger showdown in mid-October. The biggest sticking point among lawmakers continues to be the Affordable Care Act, which Republicans call a threat to the country's budget. In 2 weeks, a clash over the debt ceiling could upstage health care. So far, no compromise from lawmakers to keep the government running, though many say they are confident an agreement will be reached. And as that debate rages on in Washington, many Americans are asking, what does the health care initiative mean for me? KWQC's Mark Stevens going to break it down for us tonight. Coming up.
The news is sponsored in part by your local Toyota dealers.
Looking for more bang for your buck? You found it.
Packed with refined technology, luxurious interior, and up to 35 estimated miles per gallon, the Toyota Camry is a pleasure to drive at an unbelievable value. Test drive one today and learn why it's the best-selling car in America.
Lease a new 2013 Camry SE with sports suspension and 17-inch aluminum wheels now for only $199 a month. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. Toyota, let's go places.
That's my husband, Sean, teaching Timmy how to play bugle. They used to do it out in the yard. When Sean got deployed, they tried to keep it going online, but our old internet couldn't handle it. And that's when he came, a little alien with Exceed Internet. It's like he knew we needed help. I didn't know we had a choice for internet. Thanks to Exceed Internet, now the bugle lessons are a weekly thing. The girls still don't like it.
You do have a better choice for internet. Exceed, super fast internet from space.
American Furniture. We've got the looks, we've got the selection, and we bring you unheard of value. This huge, so Sony 60-inch super bright LED smart TV with 1080p and 120 Hz fast motion is free at American with furniture purchases of $24.99 and up. Access the internet, stream music and movies, and enjoy the incredible picture from this 60-inch Sony LED free with the furniture you want, totaling $24.99 or more. American, helping you get it right.
At GMC, incredible thinking is everywhere. It's in the state-of-the-art dealerships. It's in a customer experience that's ranked highest by J.D. Power. And it's in the advanced engineering of the entire GMC lineup. Now get 0% financing for 60 months on any of these GMC models. Plus, 1 year of Sirius XM on Acadia and Terrain.
In less than a week, one of the main parts of the Affordable Health Care Act will open for business. The health insurance exchanges will start open enrollment on Tuesday, providing an online health insurance store for millions needing coverage. The options, though, can be a bit daunting.
Yeah, they can, and we'll be investigating health care reform throughout this process, helping bring answers to your many questions about a law that affects all of us. KWQC's investigative reporter Mark Stevens joins us tonight with a breakdown of the different situations that will present themselves. Mark?
Some of the most asked questions we get. Does October 1st change anything for me? Do I need to do anything? What program will I fall under? We're going to help answer those questions now with a quick guide to the insurance situations many people find themselves in. First, let's talk about people who already have insurance through their job. That's most people, and for many, nothing will change. The open enrollment period for the health insurance marketplace doesn't do anything to your insurance or your doctor. On January 1st, when the mandate that people have insurance takes effect, you will be covered. If, however, your employer's insurance does not meet the minimum requirements for acceptable insurance or is considered unaffordable, you can buy insurance through the state marketplaces and receive a federal subsidy. You can also choose to buy insurance through the marketplace instead of taking your employer's coverage, but if you do that, you won't qualify for any federal subsidies. You'll have to pay the entire sticker price, and it may not be cheaper. Now, the majority of Americans that the changes affect are people who are uninsured, and we're going to talk about people who are poor first. Both Iowa and Illinois have expanded their Medicaid programs to cover that population. Before this expansion, Medicaid had gaps in it. If you were single or didn't have a child, chances are you didn't qualify for Medicaid, leaving you with no health care. Under this expansion, those gaps go away. That means for anyone whose earnings are at the federal poverty line and below for their family size, so if you're single, that's about $11,500 a year, you'll automatically be enrolled into Medicaid when you try to buy insurance on the exchange. Now, the expansion also includes people above the federal poverty line up to the new limit of 138%. Again, for a single person, it's about $15,900 per year. And now here's where things get a little tricky depending on which state you're living in. In Illinois, everyone who's at 138% and below will go into Medicaid. There's no question there. In Iowa, that's not the case. People who are above the original line but are below this 138% limit in this shaded area we've got, they will not be signed up for Medicaid. Instead, Iowans in that category will be told, go buy insurance through the health insurance marketplace that Iowa set up. Instead, Iowa will then take the money it's getting from that Medicaid expansion, and it will help pay those premiums for the people who are involved in that category. Now then, there, of course, you can buy insurance starting on October 1st for anyone who is not uninsured or who is uninsured but is not even poor. And they've got till March 31st, like everyone else, to go ahead and explain through that marketplace process. Now, it's important to note, you don't have to buy insurance through the marketplace. There is no requirement that you do. You can go through insurance agents like normal. However, if you do choose to buy off the exchange, you'll enter your information into the computer, your location and your finances, nothing health related, which will pull up what plans are available to you in your particular exchange, and they'll be broken into different levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The different metals represent plans with higher premiums in exchange for lower deductibles and copays. So that means that if you buy at the bottom end of the scale, you'll have a lower cost up front, but you'll pay more at the back end. So when you go to the doctor, you'd have a more expensive deductible. It would be the reverse. The more expensive you pay up here. You buy a platinum plan, it will be a less expensive premium on the front end. You go to the doctor, you won't have as much to pay. Now, any subsidies someone can get in the exchange is based on the silver plan. And that subsidy will be based on the income that is based on that silver plan. So we're going to take a family of 4, 2 adults and 2 children. Let's say the parents are 35 years old, and together they make about $50,000 a year. Their yearly health insurance would cost a little over $7,000. Now, the government will pick up about half that, $3,676. You can take that subsidy and you can buy the more expensive plans. You can choose gold or platinum. That would make those cheaper. You can also take the subsidy and go down to the bronze level, which again would make that cheaper. Whichever plan you buy doesn't matter. The subsidy is always based on that silver level. Now, people on Medicare don't have to do anything, and everyone has to have insurance in 2014. People who don't buy insurance but can afford it will be assessed a penalty on their 2014 taxes.
All right, nice work, Mark. Thank you. Mark will continue to stay up on health care reform. Send him your questions on our Facebook page or visit our website as well, kwqc.com, for a lot of resources and answers to the questions you may have now or in the future about all of this. Still to come in sports tonight, Tom Cornelis has some pad-popping highlights from the prep and college football fields next.
You're watching Sports with Tom Cornelis.
The Iowa State Cyclones were on hurricane watch tonight, seeking that first win of the season at Tulsa, and the Clones will have a much happier ride home tonight. Cyclones getting a rematch of last December's Liberty Bowl, which was won by the Golden Hurricane. First quarter, no score. Sam Richardson hands off to Aaron Wimberly. The speedster racks up 35 yards before getting knocked down at the 1. Now, first they called it a touchdown, but the refs took another peek. He is down before crossing the goal line, they say. Cyclones would still cash it in, though. Jeff Woody doing the honors. Cyclones strike first. It's 7-0. Late now, second quarter, Sam Richardson finds Jarvis West for the 10-yard touchdown, and that ties the game up at 14 at halftime. Third quarter, it's all Cyclones. Richardson again through the air. This time it's E.J. Bibbs in the corner. 16-yard score. The Cyclones storm to 24 second-half points, and they get that first W. 38-21 is the final. Cyclones now 1-2. Open Big 12 play next Thursday night against Texas in Ames. Well, something had to give tonight as Davenport West and Davenport North tried to reach that win column for the first time this season. The Falcons and Wildcats kicking off Week 5 of the prep football season at Brady Stadium. Coaches Jeremy Mosier and Guy Diericks, and their teams very hungry for a victory. The Falcons marched downfield on their opening drive. Terrell Malone busts a few tackles, breaks it outside, caps the drive with a 24-yard touchdown jaunt, 7-0 West. But the Wildcats have a quick response. Jordan Trowers sweeps the right side, busts loose down the sideline, and he's gone. A 40-yard scoring scamper. It's tied at 7. Trowers had a huge night, 208 yards rushing. The Cats now have the momentum. They go on another scoring drive in the second quarter. Dylan Valentine bowls his way to pay dirt from 3 yards out. It's 14-7 North at half. Now the Wildcats, who went winless last season, have that victory scent, although West Taquan Malone has a big hit coming up here on a ball carrier. But it's the Cats purring at the end. The streak is broken after 18 straight losses, 28-21 North. Your winner tonight. We'll be hearing from those happy Wildcats tomorrow at 6. Now, one of the oldest prep rivalries in the state of Illinois features 2 high schools in our own backyard. And as KWQC's Ben Rosehart explains, the Kewanee Boilermakers and Princeton Tigers are looking forward to renewing their rivalry after a brief timeout.
To the victor goes the spoils. And this traveling trophy awaits the winner of Friday's clash between Princeton and Kewanee High School, as they continue a tradition that dates back to the 1890s.
It's just nuts because you don't believe when you see it says 1897, and that's a long time ago, you know? But, I mean, it's great to be a part of it, and hopefully it goes on for a long time, you know, maybe 2097 or something like that.
Well, I think the rivalry is awesome. You know, these kids grow up playing every sport you can imagine against each other, only being a half an hour away. And, you know, both towns, I think, take a lot of pride in their football, and we've been on the wrong end of it quite a bit lately. I don't think we've won since '04, so we're looking to try to right that this year.
The Princeton-Kewanee rivalry dates back farther
farther than even Bears-Packers. And for 90-plus straight seasons, the two schools faced off in the annual rivalry football game. That is until conference realignment recently altered those plans, and for the last 3 years, the two schools had to take an intermission.
But then the Three Rivers Conference expanded to include both Princeton and Kewanee.
When you can hear it around town and stuff, the new rivalries coming back and everything.
Hopefully we can start it back and get the trophy back at home and get it going again.
The Boilermakers are off to a 3-1 start, and they can run their winning streak to 4 if they can tackle their longtime rivals.
It's pretty exciting, over a 100-year rivalry, and our key would have to be defense, everybody cleaning their house and knowing what they have to do before the snap of the ball.
Meanwhile, Princeton coach Jesse Snyder is rebuilding a program with a proud tradition. The Tigers would love to keep that trophy for one more year.
I remember being back in grade school and people would just be all like, oh, we're playing Kewanee tonight, so we'd all make sure we were at the Kewanee game. So, I mean, it's just awesome to be starting this back up again.
Ben Rosehart, KBQC TV6 Sports.
And the Emanated Highlight Zone will be on the sidelines when Kewanee and Princeton square off tomorrow. Be sure and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. You can see scores, updates, and extra videos, and share your Instagram photos with us by using the hashtag QCZone. And a light night on the baseball beat. The only games that matter. Royals edged the White Sox 3-2. KC still in the wild card hunt. The Indians looking better all the time in the wild card. They lead 6-1 at Minnesota. Almost have it locked up. And that's sports. Gary and Sharon will lock it up right after this.
The news is sponsored in part by the Illinois Lottery.
Clear skies tonight, lows in the 50s. Daytime highs back in the 80s with mostly sunny skies. Then rain chances on Saturday. Cooler temperatures for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And mild conditions through the work week.
Hey, a quick shout out now to Shane Huff and his buddies at the Quad City River Bandits. They are the official winners now of the Golden Bobblehead, recognizing them for the best charity promotion or event.
That's really cool. The Bandits won for their Autism Awareness Photo Jersey auction. The team wore special jerseys, then auctioned them off to raise money for the QC Autism Center. And they won that giant bobblehead. So that's really cool.
Can we try to click on that bobblehead so we can see it up close? I don't know if we can do that or not, but Shane and his crews have been working really hard to get a lot of recognition this year throughout all of minor league baseball for all the things they're doing there with the Bandits.
Ballpark. They won the Midwest League Championship, and they get this big bobblehead.
That is probably the biggggest bobblehead I've ever seen. Is that Tom Cornelis?
Shane said he's going to do one for me next year.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah,
I'll be there for that.
TV6 bobblehead night at the park. That'd be awesome.
Big. Thanks for watching tonight. Your next news tomorrow morning at 4:30.
Have a great night.
I think we get that shaped out just right.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't have to use a lot of hair. Just on the sides.